Hey, everybody. No De'Aaron Fox. It does not matter. The Kings taking advantage and dictating the entire first half against the Warriors team that played last night. And, guys, I'll tell you, Malik Monk and Domantas Sabonis, they were outstanding in that first half.
Yeah, just fabulous. I mean, obviously, Monk and Domas, they've always been on the same page, but
Yeah.
it's really clicking. And certainly, this team is just playing at as high a level as just about anybody in the league this first half.
Absolutely no wasted movement between those two, and it's scattering the Golden State defense, leading to open shots that, Jerry, the Kings are stepping into.
Well, too, I mean, I just thought the defensive pressure, I mean, the ball pressure was outstanding. The pace of the game was really outstanding by the Kings. And of course, the ball movement. I don't think we've seen that good a ball movement in years. Goes back to a couple of years ago.
Well, I like the pace. You talked about that. The Warriors played last night, and I like the way the Kings came out and began this game, really dictating the pace and taking advantage of this. Let's face it, they've got a lot of older guys on the floor. Now, Curry didn't play last night, but everyone else did, and I like the start to this game particularly. I thought they started the game very well.
Yeah, I really couldn't fault anything. I think that's as good a half as you could expect. Obviously, defensively, the Warriors have had no answers, partially because really the Kings have turned them over. I think they about 13 turnovers, so they're getting out in the open court, getting easy opportunities, and then wisely get into some high screening rolls when the ball movement, is slowing down a little bit. So just great. I think Coach Christie's got to be extremely pleased with where they are. If you're Steve Kerr, you've got to make some adjustments. Just what kind you can make, I don't know.
Yeah, 20 points off of the turnovers. That's huge. And Jerry, the other thing, and Grant, that I really liked was when Golden State went on their run, the Kings responded right back with a run. If Golden State scores, the Kings are right back up the court, pushing the pace. And that's something different than we've seen all season.
Yeah, they had, would look like the Warriors really going to get back in the game. And then right immediately, Kings got a run going. And I guess I'm just really impressed with how much confidence that Keon Ellis and then Keegan Murray are playing with. They look like, honestly, I think since the change, they look like different guys. And obviously, you're getting something from your bench. Carter, no question, he can guard people. You can see that right away. I mean, he's a dog. He's in there. And if the offense can come along, their bench all of a sudden becomes better.
Yeah, well, I didn't think the Kings would be able to score 75 points without De'Aaron Fox. In the last couple of years, I've been complaining that the biggest void on this team was the lack of a backup point guard. Well, it seems like Malik Monk's taking over that role, and based on this first half tonight, it looks just fine. You guys have mentioned this, but, I mean, he works so well with Sabonis. I mean, we know this. He's a better fit with Sabonis in terms of what Sabonis does than Fox is. I mean, Those guys just have it going on.
Yeah, I honestly think, and I have thought this for some time, that Malik is a better playmaker than Monk. I mean, than De'Aaron. I mean, De'Aaron's a scorer. He's a scorer who can play, who can make plays. Really, Monk is more right now, more of a playmaker who can score. And that's really been a nice adjustment for this
And
team.
if you look at a little bit last year, De'Aaron played more off the ball, but Malik Monk's been the point guard for this team since he went into the starting lineup, and now even more so since Keon Ellis has been starting with Keegan out.
Yeah, I think it really makes it easier for, with Keon in there, with Monk. Monk knows he's got to be the dominant ball handler. That's not one of Keon's strong points. I mean, he plays off the ball well and can make some routine plays, but I think in a lot of ways you're seeing the best of Monk because he knows he's really got to go.
So is De'Aaron Fox your two guard, Jerry, when he's healthy?
He's always has been. He always has been. He's a scorer who can make plays. I mean, he's just never been a true playmaker. Nothing wrong with that. He's great, a great scorer. And the fact that he also can make plays, that's just a bonus. But so we've you've seen those type players over the years. Kyrie Irving comes to mind, who pretty darn good at
Jerry
it.
Grant,
the game looks a lot easier, doesn't it, Ryan, when the ball goes in the basket?
It certainly does. Much funner, and you got people touching the ball. Everybody feels involved. I want to ask both of you this question. How many games is it going to take you if we continue to see this version of the Kings to say not starting Keon Ellis was Mike Brown's biggest mistake?
I'm not there yet.
I've said
I'm
I'm
not.
there. I've said that. I've said that before, because if they not starting him when the season started was a huge mistake, because Herter was coming off injury, hadn't played, hadn't practiced, hadn't played preseason games, and Keon Ellis should have been the starter. The fact that he wasn't and Herter wasn't himself, it really got the key team off slow, and then I think it affected both players, quite honestly. So yeah, I think that was a big
All
mistake.
right, I think the Kings are. I don't think they're going to score 75 in the second half, but I think they'll score 65. So, I mean, I think they can. I think we're looking at a 140 to 114 game. But here's what I think is the real key in this second half: the Kings play tomorrow night against a Miami team that's lost 2 in a row. They're having a lot of internal problems, but Miami's in Sacramento right now, waiting. And so I think, not having to play your starters a lot of minutes in the second half, which tells me. So what I'm talking about, the first 6 minutes of this third quarter, keep the foot to the gas, right? And not have to extend yourself here in the fourth quarter tonight.
Well, that always helps in a back-to-back if you can give your main guys rest. Now, the good part of this is an early game.
Yes.
So they get more than a
Yep.
normal 24 hours. So that helps
Yes, it
as
does.
well. And
Yeah.
but you're right. You'd really like to put this one out of reach. But I'm always scared of the Warriors because of Curry and some of the people they have, that they can go on a run and maybe stretch the game out. I certainly think the Kings are
Me
going to
too.
win it.
I don't
Yeah.
think there's any way the Kings can lose this game. And I say that with all due respect, knowing that Steph Curry's playing on the other team. But and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I would be shocked, Rhino, if we're doing a post-game show talking about a Kings loss. I've seen a lot of stuff, and Jerry, we've experienced a lot during our years. I would be shocked if the Kings lose this game. Shocked.
Grant, I'm with you, but I wouldn't. This team would not probably be at the top of the list. If I was going to say if the team was going to beat the Kings in this position, it would be the Warriors. The way they shoot the 3 ball, they missed a ton of them in the first half. And then Steph Curry, you just can't have those 4-point plays. You've given 2 of those to him. That gives everybody else life. But I don't see them letting their foot off the gas. They're going to keep the Warriors discombobulated, in my opinion, Jerry.
Everybody's shooting too well for the Kings right now. They're not all of a sudden, as collectively as a team, just going to come out and the whole team is going to stop making shots. You may have 1 or 2 guys, but I mean, everyone else is just shooting the ball too well right now.
Yeah, really, the Warriors, you can't really say they're playing great defense either. I mean, the Kings have had a lot of easy opportunities. I know they're a better defensive team overall than the Warriors have played so far, but I'm like you guys. I don't see the Kings losing it. I am concerned that the Warriors could, make it interesting a little bit, and that's I don't want to see that. I don't want to be interested. I just
so the Kings shot the ball very similar last game against Memphis. They came out in the third quarter and they were 1 for 11 in the third quarter shooting the 3 ball. So I guess my key, guys, would be if the Kings start shooting the 3 ball well, get your asses to the hoop, get to the free throw line. You've only been there a couple times this game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And here's something else that I think we can look at. Steve Kerr and the way he coaches, if the Warriors have a bad 4 or 5 minutes to start the third, he'll just take his whole team off the floor and just play the last 5 guys on the bench. I mean, that's the way he's going to coach. I mean, he's looking at the big picture. He's not going to play, Curry had a knee, didn't play last night. Draymond, these guys aren't going to play a lot in the second half if the Kings come out and have a good first 5 minutes of the third quarter.
That first 5 is going to be important because it can really dictate how easy the game will be, or to where you really have to play guys more minutes you want to.
Definitely. You know what's so interesting? Trace Jackson Davis, he just cannot guard Sabonis, Jerry, dating back to the play-in. It is a nightmare for him.
Can't do it.
Yeah, it's a little bit surprising. I mean, he's the right size, and I mean, I really liked him in college and was hoping maybe the Kings would draft him in the second round. They didn't, but He seems to have. He's used to guarding bigger guys. I think he matches up well against bigger guys, and Sabonis is about the same size and obviously much more skilled.
Again, we'll have the post-game show. We invite your phone calls right after this game. Again, you got to get to 500, and if the win tonight would get you within 2, and you keep on climbing up the ladder. You got Miami tomorrow. You still got a meat of your schedule coming up here real soon. So these are huge games, and as this is going on, it almost looks like the 9th and 10th spot in the West this year is going to be a lot closer to 500 than it was last year. Last year, 46 wins didn't get the job done for the Kings. You win 40. I don't think they're going to win 46. But the point is, I think that the records this year in the West, particularly between 7 and 10, are not going to be as good as they were last year based on what we're looking at right now.
No, I agree with that for sure. I mean, with Oklahoma City just winning so much, they're going to be in the 60s. And so and then you've got these surprise teams taking wins away, which San Antonio, Houston, Memphis that weren't in it last year. So I agree with you. I think, you could see somebody in the play-in at 40.
Jerry, we sat here before the season and you called that. You said that it was going to be much closer, and Trailblazers, they knocked off the Bucks last night, for heaven's sakes, guys.
How about that? Yeah, that's why all these games right now, I mean, the Kings have put themselves in a tremendous position to get a win here by completely dominating the first half, completely dominating the Golden State Warriors in the first half. Jerry, we look forward to talking to you tomorrow at halftime. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you guys, and bring it home tonight. And tomorrow at halftime, let's just talk about another big half. How about that? Beat the Miami Butlers.
Thank you, Jerry. The Miami Butlers. All right. I know it's the Warriors. I know it's Curry. I don't see this game getting within single digits. I mean, I could see the Warriors making a run, but they're too far back. I don't think this game will get inside 10 points in the second half.
Yeah, I think you make a good point, especially with Coach Kerr, second night of a back-to-back.
Absolutely. All right. We'll see you after the game, everyone. The Kings rolling right now. We'll see if they can continue it. Really appreciate everyone here. And I know everyone's got one eye on the football game. And Ryan, you have to close the show because my cursor just froze. So you can do that. And then we'll look forward to having everybody on here